Hi, welcome. It's been a minute since I made a favorites video. A lot of them are gonna be the same, let's be honest, because I still have those like nostalgic favorites, and I am talking about those. I was looking at my analytics, which is a really bad thing. I know not to look because it makes me feel depressed, but 88% of my viewers in the last month are all new viewers. So people who haven't watched my videos before, who are just now clicking on my new ones. So I was like, well, maybe we can do a little like, hi, I'm Chloe introduction, and here are my favorite books. I have been chasing that feeling of my all-time favorite new series, and it just hasn't been happening. It just hasn't happened. And like, I was looking at my Goodreads and statistics. I started reading in 2013, like really reading in 2013. And all my favorite books are from like those first couple of years of me reading, of like 2013, 14, 15, 16 era, like those ones. From like 2016 on, I have not found like a new favorite of all time, it feels like. We all know my favorite series of all time, so I'm not going to start with that. Well, maybe not. If you're a new viewer, you won't. We're going to start with what, in the past couple years, like 2 years, 3 years, I've learned that my reading tastes really align with, like what I really like. And I always thought I was a fantasy long series girly. And I've learned, I don't really like that actually. My preference is actually a duology. Good characters, because if there isn't good characters, I'm not going to care about the plot. I've learned that if I don't like your character, I don't care about your book. And this shouldn't surprise me, because one of my favorite series of all time is a duology, and I've talked about it a lot. It's like a lot of people's favorite. It's one of those nostalgic favorites as well. I have a tattoo for it. I mean, no surprise when I hold up this as my first book here. This has always been a favorite since I started this channel. I feel like it's a lot of people's favorite. Six of Crows, Lily Bardugo, specifically this duology, not the other Grisha book verses, because I really actually don't like Shadow and Bone that much. Shocking. I don't even think I own Shadow and Bone. Oh, I do. I lied. I own Shadow and Bone. Six of Crows has a very special place in my heart. I love it so much. This is the perfect duology. This has been one of the only heist books that I read that I really, really liked the heist in it. I like the world. I like the magic. I like the characters so much. And this is a YA book. I love Six of Crows so much. I love the characters. I love Kaz and Inej and Nina and Matthias and Jesper and Wyland all so much. I will forever hate Netflix for canceling Six of Crows, because I feel like they had such a good cast of crows, and Shadow and Bone really like ruined it. I'm not a Shadow and Bone girly, but I am a Six of Crows girly. And I feel like a lot of people are. A lot of people love this series. Really, really emotionally devastated characters. Like, a lot's going on. A lot has happened to them. They've had really horrible lives, and this is like their found family, and they're doing this heist. But they also there's banter, and there's romance, and there's a lot going on. This book is basically following Kaz Brecker. He's our main character, and he is offered a chance at like the greatest heist of all time. Kaz is part of this like gang in this city called Ketterdam, and basically he is offered this chance to break into the ice court, which is like this really intense prison, right? And so he gets this gang of 6 people together in order to accomplish this, and that's where you get like your found family, and you meet all your characters, and there's magic, and it's I just love it so much. And if you haven't read the Grishaverse yet, just go do it. Some recent duologies that I've read, these two have next to both not similar vibes, but kind of, and I'll let you know how. What the River Knows and What the Library Hides by Isabella Bonas. This duology is one of my recent favorites, and I think I say that and I read it like 2 years ago. First book definitely being more superior to the second. Like, the first book was a 5-star, the second book I think I gave 3 or 4 stars. But overall, it's still one of my favorite duologies. It's like a it is a historical urban fantasy based in Egypt. So I love it. I love it so much. That gives me those mummy vibes, Indiana Jones vibes, but it's historical. I freaking love the MMC so much in this. Like, he gives bad boy almost like Han Solo-esque, Carswell Thorne, like sarcastic, witty character, if that makes sense. But there is magic in here as well. There is fantasy aspects to it. What the River Knows also has one of my favorite 1-star Goodreads reviews ever, which is just The River Don't Know Shit, 1 star. 19th century Buenos Aires. Inez has everything except for one thing she really wants: her parents. Basically, her parents go mysteriously missing when they're in Egypt. They spend like half of the year in Egypt every year. And she gets this letter saying her parents went missing and they don't know what happened. So she basically decides to run away from her relatives in Buenos Aires and decides to travel all the way to Egypt alone and try to figure out the mystery surrounding her disappeared parents. Where'd they go? What happened? There's a bunch of secrets that people aren't telling her. They're keeping her out of the loop, and she is literally, she just wants to know where her parents are, but also she is now in Egypt for the first time, and it's this place that her parents have written her these beautiful letters about, and she's been daydreaming about going to Egypt, and it's been like her dream vacation destination. She's always wanted to go and just be in Egypt with her parents. And now she's finally here, but she's looking for her parents. A book that has Egyptian mythology or based in Egyptian mythology or takes place in Egypt or just that like overall mummy vibes I really, really, really love. And you know, I really should have known when like I couldn't get into Percy Jackson, but I could read the Red Pyramid series by Rick Riordan. I just have always been an Egyptian mythology girly, okay? And I just... I really, really enjoyed this one. And it's just a duology. It's so easy to read. The next duology I want to talk about is the one I'm currently reading. This is The Jasad Heir by Sarah Hashim and then The Jessid Crown. I am done with this one, okay? So when I say I'm currently reading it, this is how much I have left of the second one. I'm almost done with the second one, so I feel like that gives me the permission to talk about this as a basically completed duology. Unless something happens in the next 100 pages of this book that emotionally like devastates me, I feel like I'm good to talk about them, you know, which is very possible. It's very possible that can happen. This is also a duology based in Egyptian mythology. It's like I like Egyptian mythology or something. The second book though, the plot is lagging a little bit for me, but just in the middle there, I'm finally back to like loving it. The MMC. Oh. He's so fine. He is so fine. I am freaking loving him so much. His name is Aaron. That's another thing. I like Aarons, okay? Give me Aaron from Shatter Me. Give me this Aaron. I don't care. I freaking love Aarons. It's called the Silver-Haired Serpent in this. Like, he's a commander. He's an heir. He's a badass. I just love him. I really love him. And the female in the FMC is badass as well. And she's powerful. And like, it's just... Okay, this is high fantasy. The first 100 pages of this first book sent me into a reading slump. But once I got past it, I really, really loved it. And I think that's why this is more of like a 4-star series for me. But I'm still putting it on this list because I still am overall really enjoying it. It is a new duology. A duology. I love duologies. It's so nice. I don't even care if they're like, I just feel like 2 books can wrap up a story so well. And sometimes when it's a longer series, like I really like the first book and all the middle books drag, and then I like the last book. So like, there's something about it being a duology that it's just really appealing to me. Mythology-based magic in a world where basically we have the Jasad Heir, whose kingdom? People, her race, was basically annihilated by the 3 surrounding kingdoms. And now she's been in hiding for years, and she doesn't really care that she's the Jasad Heir. She doesn't want to do anything about it. She just wants to survive. She just wants to live. She just wants to live her life in peace with the people that she likes, that she's like, she has her own little found family as well, which... I love a found family. And she's just doing her best until one day she is selected by the commander, who is the heir of another nation, basically, to be his champion in a competition that is held yearly. Aaron's champion. And then they do the whole training montage, and there's multiple knife to the throat situations, which I've learned I am a knife to the throat girly. There's something wrong with me. I don't feel like I ever hear people talk about this series. I like never hear people talk about it. I don't see really fan art for it. What is that? Like, why are we all sleeping on this? You know, the next thing that should have been telling, and it's something I really like, pirate books. Who would have thought a girl who grew up on Disney Pirates of the Caribbean would like a pirate duology? But I love a pirate duology. It's daughter of the Pirate King, daughter of the Siren Queen. Even better when the pirate duology has sirens or mermaids in it. Like, sign me up. This is the Fairy Loot edition. I love these editions with all my heart. These are by Tricia Levenseller. I have tried to actually read other Tricia Levenseller books, and I have not liked them as much. Like, there is just something about a pirate fantasy that captivates me, and I love it so much. And it is probably because I grew up watching the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. Do I care? No. This basically starts with our main character, Alicia, what's her name? Alosha, basically getting kidnapped by her enemy, who happens to be a really hot pirate lord. Ugh. Or the pirate, like, commander, head of his ship, you know, kind of guy. Love him so much. Basically, she willingly gets herself captured to get on this ship because she believes the ship has the key to her future and success, which I believe is either really a key or a map. I can't remember. Okay, she needs to find the map to this ancient trove by her dad, who is, guess it, the Pirate King. Her dad's the Pirate King. And nobody knows that though. Like, it's kind of like a little secret. Like, she doesn't tell anybody she's a Pirate King's daughter, but like, you know, she's making her way. She's doing her own thing. She's living her best life, and she's getting captured by her most like sworn enemy pirate crew people there are out there. And playing a little deceit game on his ship. And it's so fun. This is also a YA duology. A Study in Drowning, A Theory in Dreaming by Ava Reed. This duology also has a companion novel, an archive of romance, but it really is just that, companion novel, if you really like these. This book has some deep, some hard-hitting moments in it, for sure. There's a lot, trigger warnings for like suicide, depression, eating disorders. There's a lot in this little book. There's a lot going on in there. This also has a lot of like fairy mythology in it. And I want to say it's Welsh. Basically, you're following our main girl who is studying at a college. She really wants to actually study like literature and writing, but she can't join the writing college because she is a female. So she joins the architecture college, and she's studying under architecture so she can get basically access to the library and like the writing criteria without being part of the writing college. This opportunity arises where her favorite author of all time basically has died, and they want to do this memoir of the author. She signs up to basically go to where her ex-favorite author used to live. Son now owns the house, the manor. She used to have the college basically send students there to research this author's life and write this memoir or this piece about him. So her and another student from the college is sent, an actual writing student. Preston, I believe is his name. Effie. Yeah, Preston. I love Preston. And they are rivals. Yep, because they're both competing to have this piece published. Anyways, there's a lot going on. There's myths, there's dark academia-esque, there's very like fairy tale-esque kind of things going on. There's a lot of heavier topics going on too, so just beware when you go into it. But I really like loved A Study in Drowning. I did enjoy A Theory in Dreaming as well, not as much, but this one does take place more at the college than this one. This one takes place more at the manor. But it's just, I love this so much. You know what else I've discovered I really love? Tarot magic. Let's talk about some. Also a duology, but the second book is not out yet. This is A Vow and Vengeance by Jacqueline Rodriguez. This has been my #1 book of the year so far. I love this book so much. I love tarot magic. It's also very dark academia. They're studying tarot magic. They're at a school. It's fantastical. Like, there is creatures and wars and all this big plot, overarching plot going on, but also they're at a school studying tarot magic, and that is so cool to me. I love tarot magic so much. Rune has lost everything. She's lost her entire family to basically these groups of immortals that come into the mortal land every year, and they do this like 100-person selection. And nobody knows what happens to these 100 people that are selected every year, but all of Rune's family has been taken. And so basically, when the next selection comes, she makes herself get chosen. And she ends up at this school where she's studying tarot magic. It is so cool. I really love the MMC as well. He is hot. He has wings and horns. And he's a prince. His name is Draven. They are roommates, enemies, roommates to lovers. I love it so much, and the second book is coming out next year, and I can't wait to read it. Of course, with the second book not coming out, it's not like completely on my list of favorites yet, but this is my favorite read so far of this year. And this isn't the only tarot magic book I've read this year either. Arcana Academy by Elise Kova is also Academy with tarot magic. It's just the thing I like right now. This one I liked a little bit less than Vow and Vengeance. I ended up giving this one 4 stars, A Vow and Vengeance 5 stars. This one just isn't as, not as diverse, definitely, but there is a lot going on here. She is taken, basically we start with our main girl, FMC, is in prison for illegally making and inking tarot cards. And that is not something you're allowed to do unless you've been to school for it and have studied under it. So she gets sent to prison and she's there for a while before the prince, who basically runs the academy, breaks her out of prison and sneaks her in as one of his students and his fake fiance. And here she has to study the proper ways of making the Arcana like tarot deck, but like also keep up this ruse of she's not who she is and she's pretending to be the fiance to this prince, and there is a lot going on. And I loved it so much as well. It's, again, not as good as A Vow of Vengeance, but the second book is coming out very soon and I'm very excited to read it. Chloe Gong's These Violent Delights and Our Violent Ends duology. Perfect duology. Perfect duology. There is a standalone or like a side series as well. This is a Romeo and Juliet retelling based in Shanghai in the 1920s between two rival gangs. Like, this perfect duology. There's also a little bit of magic. Anyways, we're through with the duologies, but I had to throw these. This is one of my favorite duologies, like, actually. Stalking Jack the Ripper by Carrie Maniscalco has been my favorite series for as long as I remember. Like, as soon as I read the first book and then the second book, I like fell in love with Thomas and Audrey Rose. I love it so much. There's mystery, there is academia. Like, the second book takes place at a school, at an academy, and it is my favorite book of the series. And I love it so much. And they're all following different murder mystery cases, and it's a detective couple, and they're so cute. And this has been my favorite series for a long time. I see it being my favorite series for a long time. These will forever have a place in my heart. I now have a Stalking Jack the Ripper tattoo. I've just been waiting to get one, really. Carrie Maniscalco is my favorite author. I love her writing. I love her characters. I should have known that I would have liked Dark Academia, like tarot magic, like, just, it all makes sense. Like, they all just feel like part of the same group to me for some reason. But I don't, like, it's very telling. This is a series, though. This isn't a duology. This is a 4-book series, and I wish it were 1,000 books. I would read about them doing detective cases for years, and I love them so much. And Carrie Maniscalco recently put out a little teaser that she wrote another book with, I think, her daughter. She, like, based it off of Audrey Rose's, like, daughter, and she, like, made a book about it, but then never did anything with it. And I'm like, you can't put that in your Instagram story and tell us that and then not do anything with it. Come on, Carrie, post it. Feed it to your fans. I don't even care if it's just like fan fiction. I want it. Or a Kickstarter. I would pay. I love this series so much. Dark Academia, Murder Mysteries, 1800 Londons. I mean, there's no magic in it. Surprisingly, no magic for my favorite series, but the third book does follow a magician, so I guess you could call that magic. But like, the series just has everything in it for me, and I love it so much, and I will never shut up about it, ever. Just because we've already talked about Carrie Maniscalco, we should also talk about her other series, Kingdom of the Wicked. This is her adult fantasy. Definitely steamy, definitely spicy. The first 3, there's a trilogy and then a bunch of standalones that take place within this world. The trilogy is definitely my favorite of them. I do not like the standalones as much, but they are fun, and I read them, and I'm obsessed over them every single time one comes out. Last time I was given an arc. It's crazy. I was sent an arc. I was sent an arc for this book too. The very first Carrie Maniscalco arc I ever received was actually for Kingdom of the Wicked, and that's insane to me. I have a Kingdom of the Wicked tattoo. It was like my first bookish tattoo I got. I got Wrath's dagger tattooed on me. Wrath is the MMC in this. This is a witch and demon romance series, trilogy, with a lot of other stuff going on in it. A lot of other stuff, but it makes sense. It's not academic, but it is witchy, magical, and dark, and that's just kind of my vibe. But the first book isn't that steamy. Second and third book get real steamy. It's like a gradual spice. And then the standalones now are just insanely unhinged with the spice. And you know what? I'm living for it. I really am. We are following different princes of sin. This one's following Wrath. We also have Gluttony and Sloths and Envy's books out as well. You have to read these. You have to read these before reading the standalones. Do it. Do it. don't just go and reading the standalones. You're ruining this series. Anyways, I just have to throw this one in there too. Any Carrie Maniscalco book is gonna be like my #1 favorite series, and I love Wrath specifically so much. He is a literal prince of hell, and I love him with all my heart. Of course, like, I feel like there's other series that are always gonna be on this list, and these are the more like nostalgic ones. Shatter Me by Tahira Mafi. This is a series I remember reading in high school as the 3rd book had just come out, and then she announced the 2nd part of the series, and now we're still getting these books today with like Release Me, which was just released following the younger brother from this series, and I actually really am enjoying like these series. And Shatter Me was just announced it's getting a film, directed and written by Tahira Mafi. We are getting Aaron Warner on our screens. We are getting Kenji on our screens, guys. Ugh. I don't know what I'm gonna do. And it's written and directed by Tahira Mafi. There is literally nothing better I could ask for. I just know everybody's gonna hate Aaron Warner in the first movie, but it's fine because they'll realize by the 3rd one that he's perfect and I love him so much. This is just purely nostalgic. Dystopian, nostalgic books, and I love them, and I'm still reading them to this day. And are they perfect? To me, yes, but no. And they are repetitive, very repetitive, but it's fine. It would not be a favorites video unless I mentioned Cinder, Marissa Meyer. I read these during a very big transition in my life while I was moving from state to state and had like no friends and was just having a time. And I was always a Disney kid, so I loved a freaking fairy tale Cinderella cyborg dystopian retelling. Absolutely. And it just wouldn't be a favorites video unless I quickly mentioned some of my favorite like nostalgic reads, like the Lunar Chronicles, which I love these so much. I really do. And a series that people don't really talk about, but by the same author. Her other series, the Renegade series, the trilogy that follows a villain and a superhero. You're going between their point of view. This is also one of my favorite trilogies. I love it so much. And I don't hear anybody like ever talk about this trilogy. I really loved it. Like, everybody talks about the Lunar Chronicles when they're talking about their like nostalgic Marissa Meyer. Nobody talks about these, and I really loved them when they were coming out, and I still love them. Basically, you're following Nova, who is a villain. She's a villain in this story, and she basically pretends she like hides who she is, her true self, and she pretends to be a hero and joins this group of superheroes to try to like, you know, do some like sneaky villain stuff, and it's just very fun. You get her point of view, you get the main guy who is the superhero in this case's point of view. It is, yes. Literally the only reason I am a reader, literally the only reason why I have these bookshelves behind me is because I fell in love with Clockwork Angel in like 2014. It's insane to think that like, the Shadowhunters definitely has issues. Like, there's definitely problems with the Shadowhunter series, but it's not going to be a favorite series unless I mention Clockwork Angel, Prince and Princess, and Cassandra Clare, and the Shadowhunter universe. It's just one of those nostalgic series. I'm forever going to read the Cassandra Clare books. Like, it's just going to happen. And I'm very thankful to this series. There's the last trilogy in the Shadowhunter books is coming out soon, which is crazy that it's still going. And I think the first book came out in 2007, and it's 2026 and we're still getting books in this series. Isn't that crazy? But like, none of these would be my favorite if I never read like Clockwork Angel, and if it never got me into reading. Because before that I read other books, but I never was like, I just want to read more. Clockwork Angel made me like fall in love with reading and want to read, and I just am forever thankful for it. So it's always going to be, especially The Infernal Devices, is always going to be on my all-time favorite. It's just going to be there. Again, there's definitely issues with this author, but I did read both these series as they were coming out, and they did something to me, okay? Court of Thorns and Roses, I literally read this book when it came out, and then I had to wait a year for Asimov. And all the girlies who are now reading it and you're diving right into it, I'm so mad at you. But also, It's fine. It's fine. I just I have to mention these real quick. Like, yes, Sarah J. Maas has her problems. There is that. But she did start the romantasy journey for me. Throne of Glass, A Court of Thorns and Roses, they're just staples in the book world. They really are. So, yeah, these did kind of help me develop my reading taste a lot. And they used to be like my all-time favorites. I used to love these so much. Like Rhysand would be my number one book boyfriend and all of that. And I still like the characters. I love the found family trope that really they both have that found family trope. They both have a good cast, like crew of characters, both these series do. And I do have very vivid memories of waiting for the releases and waiting for the next book to come out. Anyways, I just have to mention them because it's also the same case of like I would not be like the kind of reader I am unless I read these. That said, there are problems. Like, you know, there's a lot going on in the world right now. I'm gonna do a small little like not quite there, but a little mention for An Ember in the Ashes by Saba Tahir. Love this series so much. I've been craving a reread of it. I don't remember like anything that happens in it, but I reread it. I've reread the first one twice now, and I really, really enjoyed this 4-book series so much. And it was one of my favorites for a long time, and it slowly kind of like disappeared into the background for me. And I've been meaning to reread these, but I just thought I would do a quick little mention that I really love this series. It's just faded so far into the backgrounds of my memories that I can't remember anything about it. So I'm actually hoping to do a big reread of An Ember in the Ashes and the whole series one of these days. I'm not a big standalone person. Like, if I'm reading something, I prefer a duology. And if it's not a duology, then I prefer it to be a series. Like, I'm never going to gravitate towards just a standalone. But when it comes to romances, like, that's kind of the thing. Like, they're standalone. So I'm not a big romance contemporary person. If I'm reading a romance, usually it's going to be a fantasy, romantasy, that kind of thing. But here are 3 that I've read. They're very popular, but I like them. And that is The Kiss Quotient by Helen Huang. This is just, I think this was the first, like, or one of the first contemporary romances that I read that I really, really, really loved. And it really made me feel emotions. And I really enjoyed it. And it's gonna be on my list. It just is. Same with Red, White, and Royal Blue, Casey McQuiston. I don't know if I have to say much. It's funny. It's a contemporary romance based in a different 2020, and it's just there is politics in it, but it's a queer gay romance, and it's just so funny, and I love it. And of like the couple contemporary romances that I like, this is definitely one of them. Ali Hazelwood. All her books feel the same to me, but I love them anyways, and they're a silly, goofy time. This is Deep End. This is probably my favorite Ali Hazelwood book because it's the most different from her like STEMist novels. And it's also, I think, one of the spicier Ali Hazelwood books. I really, really, really loved Deep End. The last 2 books I want to talk about are the 2 books I didn't really fit into another category. I mean, I guess this one could be considered, well, yeah, this one would probably be romantasy, but it's a standalone romantasy. Let's just talk about it real quick. A Dowry in Blood, S.T. Gibson. When I first got this book, did not think I was gonna like it. It is written in a way I usually don't prefer. Like, the prose is very different from what I usually like. But in the end, I really loved this book, and it is still one of my favorites. It's basically told and written like a diary of Dracula's first wife. And there is definitely trigger warnings in here. But it literally starts with, and I will just read this to you. I never dreamed it would end like this, my lord. Your blood splashing hot flecks onto my nightgown and pouring into rivulets onto our bedchamber floor. But creatures like us live a long time. There is no horror left in this world that can surprise me. Eventually, even your own death becomes its own sort of inevitability. Inevitability. Oh, that's crazy. But, like, it's it's almost written like a diary. It has these, like, really short, like, literal pages of just, that's it. That is the page. I freaking love this book so much. And you start with knowing she's the killer and she killed him, and you basically see how and it gets to that point. And I love this one. The last book we're going to talk about is a book I recommend a lot to people when they ask me for a book rec, and it's something they don't want to have heard of before, but it's also like it's a pretty safe book rec because there's no like smut in it. It's not steamy. It's pretty safe for like a variety of people. So especially if I'm at work and people ask what my favorite book is, or like someone does, my safest go-to answer is usually The Traveling Cat Chronicles. This is a translated work from, I believe, Japanese. I don't actually own the physical book. I've almost bought the physical book so many times, and I own it audiobook, I own it ebook, but I just have yet to get the physical. But I love it so much. It is following a guy and his cat as something is happening, and you're not quite sure what it is. And there is like this mystery element of you're trying to figure out exactly why they are traveling and why they're going to all these different places. It's a really short read. I really did not want to read it. I was kind of dreading reading it, and I sat down and read it all in one session, and I was sobbing by the end. And it is just, I feel like it's one of those books that's best going into it not really knowing much, just knowing it's gonna hit your emotions a bit. But it's one of those books that was a surprising 5-star. I'm still talking about it, and I read it years ago. I still recommend it. Every time I talk about it to a person, they're like, I've never heard of that. I love The Traveling Cat Chronicles so much. It's such a good book. It's so good. It's so good. It will make, if you ever need a good cry, if you needed to sit down and read something and have a good cry, The Traveling Cat Chronicles. Read it. Do it. Yeah. Thanks for watching. Let me know your favorites. If you have a suggestion for me, please leave it down below. Now you know what my reading taste are sort of like, so maybe you'll be able to like, hey, I have this dark academia with magic book that I think you would really like. Let me know. I'll probably like it. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. Anyways, I'm gonna let you go now. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you so much. And I'll see you next time. Bye. Mwah.